Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Module 4 Innovation and Entrepreneurship with this Entrepreneurship 101 course. I am your instructor, Dr. J. So, in this module, the learning objectives for this module is explain the elements of innovation, describe the building blocks for both innovation and successful entrepreneurship, and describe how innovation and entrepreneurship are interrelated concepts. So just a little bit of overview. We're going to talk about basically what is innovation and how that fits into entrepreneurship and why that is important for you to understand that. So, how do you define innovation? Again, innovation is one of those definitions when you go on a search engine and you type in what is innovation, there's going to be thousands, if not millions, of different definitions of it. There's even a course you can take, or courses you can take in innovation, right? Everybody's talking about innovation. You can go on TED Talks, and you see all these videos on innovation. I mean, there's just a lot of different stuff in innovation. So on this module, I'm not going to go into very deep in innovation. I'm going to go into the very basics of innovation. And of course, you can check out this picture. Like our watches today have gone from the classic Citizen watches, now it's all digital, and heck, you can even almost basically speak on your watch. So that is a form of innovation of what has happened to our watches over the let alone last 5 years. It's gone from not being able to talk on your phone or see your messages to now seeing all your messages on your watch, right? So, what is innovation? So there are various definitions, and I'm just gathered here some of the definitions that I've come across. Innovation, right, is a tool to exploit change for a specific business or different service, right? It is the creation of a viable new offering, translating an idea or an invention into a good or a service that creates value, right? So again, innovation can be a specific tool of entrepreneurs that means by which to exploit changes. Uh, and so innovation is something that is definitely needed in entrepreneurship, right? Different, over the decades and over the last century, our products and services have innovated into what we have today. And there's a process as to how new products are developed, how new services are developed, right? So why innovate? So why innovation? Why do we need it, right? Because we have to continuously innovate. Like companies and businesses need to continuously innovate their products and services because the competition has put pressure on these businesses to innovate their products and services. If you don't innovate, you die, right? All the companies that have failed over the last 10 years, right? We're talking about major corporations. They failed because they were not willing to innovate with what the customers want, with the times and changes, right? Look at what has happened to stores like Venture, Kmart, Sears, Toys R Us, Montgomery Wards, right? These companies were major household brand names. Everybody used to go to them. I used to remember when I was younger. I used to go to Montgomery Wards. I remember Kmart. I remember Venture, right? Borders, right? I remember these stores, and all of a sudden they're gone. It's because they didn't innovate with the times and the changes, right? It's not that Amazon, put them out of business or put bookstores out of business. It's just that they were not willing to innovate, right? And you have to continuously innovate, right? You have to meet the needs of narrowly defined customer groups, right? So we can innovate different. We don't have to innovate just on a product, on features, on price ranges, on styles, and everything is always continuously innovating. Even hotels are innovating, right? I mean, I remember a while back, I was at a hotel. I believe it was a Marriott, and I was just sitting in the bed and clicking through the channels, and they have the their home channel, whatever it is, just to come and commercialize their hotel. And they have this really cool, like basically innovative hotel, and I forgot what location in the United States, where they're always innovating new features that they're willing to try out with several customers that they would roll out to the rest of the hotel chains of the Marriott. And I was just like, wow, that is so awesome and cool, right? Because the hotels, the major ones, want to be at the forefront. It's a tight competition in the hotel industry, and they want to make sure that they're meeting the customers' needs and demands, right? Shoes, same way. I mean, you walk into a store, let's say you walk into a Full Locker or any major shoe retailer, and you just go to the running section, there is a plethora of different style of running shoes, walking shoes, work shoes, right? Those companies also have to innovate their shoes, right? Vehicles. I mean, if you say, "Oh, I want a car," okay, what kind of car? A minivan. Okay, a minivan. What type of minivan? And there's all these other things. Even water. I mean, you go to the water section of the store, there's a, oh my God, they even innovated water, right? Um, and so how does that go about? How do companies, how do organizations innovate, right? There's this thing called the innovation funnel, right? The innovation funnel is a kind of it just well, of course what it sounds like, right? It's like where you gather raw ideas, right, and you put it through some funnel, right? And the funnel is basically a way of seeing if this idea has any viable activity in the market, right? There are thousands of ideas. For example, a company, right, has about 3,000 raw ideas that they can throw out, right? And they submit the ideas from the 3,000 or so ideas that are underwritten. 300 are submitted ideas to the company. Then out of those, probably 300, 125 or so become small projects. It's trying to see if there's any viability, what can it do. Of those, four major developments happen. They launch two of them to the public. They do kind of a soft launching, or they just focus on a specific target market or specific territory. And of those, only one successful product comes out of that, right? So many projects don't see results in the feasibility projects, or they fail to earn a commercial return. The reason that many of these ideas fail is because the market just doesn't want it. It's too early in the market. It's probably too late in the market. There are many reasons why your project just doesn't become a new product. And one of the things that I will suggest for startups, for new companies, if you're starting out, is you don't have the necessary resources, necessary financial resources to innovate and create a brand new product that nobody's ever heard of on the market. You don't have the money to raise to do so. I mean, these corporations have millions and millions of dollars that they put into the research and the R&D, the research and development office, to come out with new products, right? You don't have that type of money because not only will you spend not after you have to spend a lot of money not only on developing the product, right? But you also have to spend a lot of money on the marketing to teach the market how to use it. So say for example, you want to develop you're part of a startup, right? And you're like, I'm creating a brand new product that's never been done before. Again, what did I say about never? It's never been done in the market. When you say that, that's danger because there's a reason why it's never been done, or because people really don't care about it, right? So say for example, you do create a new product that's no one's ever heard of, right? You spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on creating this product. Great. Now you're gonna have to get millions of more dollars just to teach the market how to use this product or what this product is all about. And most of the time, people are not gonna spend the money or gonna spend the time to learn about your product. There's like, what can it do for me? And then I'm not gonna waste my time learning how to use this product, right? You're gonna spend millions and millions and millions of more dollars just teaching us how to use it. So this innovation funnel, works. This is what major corporations and businesses do when they want to launch a new product. They go through thousands and thousands of ideas, and they go through all these technicalities and see if it's viable, if it makes feasible money, if it makes us money. Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't make us money, then there's no reason why we're going to spend all this money on it. And maybe just one successful product comes out of the 3,000 or so ideas. One successful product comes out, or no products come out, right? And if this one product comes out, it can fail, right? Gets no market traction. So, what are some of the elements of innovation? So, let's look at the three elements of innovation. We have incremental innovation, which is small scale improvements of that are with intent to reduce costs, improve products and services offered, right? Evolutionary innovations, new things for existing customers and markets, and revolutionary innovations, right? That pursue new products, business, customers, markets, right? So for small startups or for startups, right, incremental innovations is something that you would probably look at, right? I want to do a small scale improvement on on a product that's already done. I'm just going to do it a little differently. That's something that you probably should look at, doing incremental innovation. I'm not saying you can't do innovation as a startup, right? Because you are doing something different. So you're innovating a new product or a new a service, right? You're doing something different, right? But the one that you're gonna have a hard time doing is the revolutionary innovation, right? Of this brand new thing that I'm doing that no one's ever heard of, and oh my gosh, it's gonna change the world. I said, what does it do? And you're like, it does this, and how do you use it? And it's gonna be like what? And again, incremental innovations is probably what you're looking at if you're a brand new startup, right? Of evolutionary innovations, right? New things for existing customers. You can possibly also look into that as well, right? That's just something new things for existing customers and markets. And of course, revolutionary is just like it's a whole brand new thing coming out. And here, let me show you an example of what I'm talking about in innovation matrix, right? Let's look at products, right? In incremental, right? You look at a tablet, incremental, it's just a little small dosage of changes, right? We're gonna have more affordable memory on it, or cars, cars with automatic park assist, right? Just a little new thing that we're gonna put in the car where you have a little camera, you don't have to look back anymore. You can just look at the camera when you reverse, right? Revolutionary would be like a digital camera. That's like something brand new, right? Experience, right? Reduced airline airfares, right? Well, that's something that's not, it doesn't take a genius to do that, right? Or evolutionary, new airline route, right? We're gonna go from Chicago to, Beijing, China, nonstop, right? Or revolutionary experiences provided by the Disney and Southwest. That's something revolutionary, right? When Southwest does its boarding process, that was like revolutionary. No one has ever done what Southwest used to do. Back in the days, people don't know. Back in the days, Southwest, I kid you not, Southwest, way back in the day when it started, it was literally a cattle call. So for those of you, let me rewind back a little bit. So for those of you who've never flown on Southwest, right, you basically line up in A, B, C, and D groups, right? Usually it's A, B, and C, but if there's a lot, it may be D. So you line up and it's 1 through 60, right? 1 through 30 gets on one side, and then 31 through 60 gets on the other side, and they call you up. And of course, it's on your ticket, so you can't skip the line, right? Well, they put, people who can't really walk really fast, they go first, then kids, then military, people who are active military, and then business class, the A through 115 group, right? And then all of a sudden everybody else boards. Well, back in the day before there was that for Southwest, it literally used to be a cattle call, be like, all right, everybody, board the plane. And it would literally, people would just bum rush to the plane like a cattle call to try to get a seat. But of course, after a while, Southwest, like, okay, we need to revolutionize. We need to have a, okay, we need to do something of a boarding process now, right? Solutions, right? Here's some other solutions: systems, processes, business model, right? Managerial. So again, this is what the innovation matrix is, and something that, of course, you as a business may look into incremental and evolutionary ways. It's like if you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, the incremental and evolutionary innovation is where you should be focused at. Revolutionary, listen, as you can do something like that, but you're gonna need a ton of money to do so. And again, it doesn't happen for everybody. Like for every eBay that there is, for every Facebook that there is, there's millions of them or hundreds of thousands that fail at that business, doing a revolutionary business, right? There's only one revolutionary business every so often, right? It doesn't come every single day. So if I were you, unless you have millions and millions of dollars disposable to you, given to from venture capitalists, or you just have it on the side, right? Go ahead and do some revolutionary innovation. For the most part, you want to focus on incremental and revolutionary innovations. So that is that. So I hope you enjoyed Module 4, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And next, we'll go into Module 5, where we talk about the entrepreneurial environment.